75003. Call now.
Get the family together for Different Strokes today at 3 on KTVX.
Nope, I don't like it. Come here.
I told you it was wrong.
Yeah, the red lipstick's a big mistake. Makes you look like a hooker.
Don't talk to me like that.
Stop rising to the bait. You're an ex-porno star charged with attempted murder. In that room, hooker is one of the nicer things they'll call you.
Then hell with it. I'll plead guilty. I've been beat up enough.
Don't you quit on me. Don't you quit on yourself. Don't let the bad guys win.
Here, honey. Oh, look what I brought you now. Won't this be pretty?
What are you doing here, Mama?
Easy, easy. She called me at the office yesterday. I told her she could come.
That wasn't your decision to make. I don't want her here. Go home.
Baby, I just want to help.
Look, it's not like everyone in the world is lining up to be a character witness for you.
Leon will tell them.
Leon will send you up the river to save his marriage. Let your mom sit next to you. At least it'll look good.
What does she know about anything? She spends half her time running around Europe with her old boyfriend.
Melanie, I had to live my life, okay? Don't look now, but here he is.
Just ignore him.
Here, baby, come.
Stop it. I don't want it.
Oh, wear the bow, Melanie. Gives you the illusion of innocence. Click, click. Kitten.
Bang, bang, Peter. You're dead.
I'm Judge Robert J. Franklin. I chose the law as my way of serving my fellow citizens. As an elected judge in the family court, I pray each day that God will give me the wisdom to always temper justice with mercy.
All rise.
What you're about to see is a dramatization of an actual case in family court. Because of the emotional and sensitive nature of the issues presented here, Judge Franklin's courtroom is closed to the public. Proceedings are about to begin.
You may be seated, please. Thank you. All right, Miss Page, let's begin.
Your Honor, this is the state versus Melanie Burke, age 17, who is charged with the attempted murder of Peter Lamar. Testifying for the state are Mr. Peter Lamar, Police Officer Gary Haberman, and Mr. Leon Donnell. Melanie Burke is accompanied by her mother, Viola.
All right, thank you, Miss Page. Mr. Shannon, your opening statement, please, sir.
Your Honor, Melanie Burke may be only 17, but she's had years of experience with the seamier side of life. At the age of 14, she ran away from home to become a porn star, taking the name Kitten Delight. However, when her producers discovered she had lied about her age, they dumped her before the police found out. So Kitten got a day job in an ad agency, once again lying about her age and qualifications, and once again using sex to advance her career. First, she had an affair with photographer Peter Lamar, thinking he would make her a model. She even encouraged Mr. Lamar to videotape them together. Then Kitten dumped Mr. Lamar so she could go on to greener pastures. But now that videotape might prove to be a little embarrassing. So she broke into Mr. Lamar's home to steal the tape. But Mr. Lamar surprised her in the act. So she shot him, almost fatally. Your Honor, this sweet little girl is a liar, a thief, and if she were a better shot, she would be a murderess. But if she walks out of this courtroom, there is every likelihood that her aim will improve. For her crimes and for the safety of Mr. Lamar, Melanie Burke should be securely locked away.
Thank you, sir. Miss Sinclair?
How appropriate, Your Honor, that Mr. Shannon, a man, is here telling us about Melanie Burke. Men have always played a prominent role in Melanie Burke's life. There was the father whose abuse forced her to run away from home. There was the agent who pushed her into pornographic films. When she escaped the porno world and tried to go straight, Peter Lamar exploited her. The videotape of them together was made secretly, Your Honor, without Melanie's knowledge or consent, something Mr. Lamar does quite frequently with his women. Now we have Melanie's current rip-off artist, Officer Haberman, who, in a cheap attempt to get his detective badge, has already tried and convicted Melanie in the press. But Melanie Burke is not a criminal. She is, as she has been all her young life, an innocent victim. No man has ever given this girl a fair chance. Unless you will, Judge Franklin.
Miss Sinclair, I try to give everyone a fair hearing in my courtroom. Mr. Shannon, your first witness, please.
I call Gary Haberman to the stand.
Very well. Officer Haberman, I remind you that you're under oath, sir.
I watched him on TV saying terrible things about you. He looks even more stupid in person.
Thanks for nothing, Mama. How come you never said anything about Daddy?
Baby, I told you.
Never mind.
You may proceed, Mr. Shannon.
Officer Haberman, you were on patrol in the Windsor Hills area on the night in question, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And you received a report of a disturbance from Mr. Lamar's home.
Yes, at 11:41 p.m., the alarm at Mr. Lamar's home at 1809 Sutton Terrace went off. The alarm company called the 4th Precinct. My partner and I were dispatched to investigate. We arrived at the premises at 11:57 p.m., and the partner waited in the car while the building manager let me in.
What happened then?
I heard gunfire from Mr. Lamar's ground floor unit. I unholstered my gun and entered the premises.
Was this the living room?
Yes. The living room is connected to the patio by a sliding glass door. I saw a figure on the patio escaping over the wall. There's a 5-foot wall separating the patio from a private park which connects to the street.
Mm-hmm. Was that sliding glass door open?
At that instant, it was closed, but the lock had been broken from the outside, allowing the perpetrator means of entrance and setting off the alarm.
Officer Haberman, could you please describe the perpetrator for the court?
Female, approximately 5'7", medium short blonde hair, wearing a khaki raincoat. She was carrying a gun in her right hand and something else in her left hand. Initially, I thought it might be a book.
And did you attempt to give pursuit?
I radioed my partner, but she got away in the dark.
And what about Mr. Lamar?
I heard a noise from the bedroom, a groan, so I hurried in there. Lamar was lying on the floor, shot in the shoulder. His blood was soaking into the carpet.
State's Exhibit 1, Your Honor. The complete police report, including the bullet that was extracted from Mr. Lamar's shoulder. Mm-hmm. As the ballistics report shows, it was fired from the same model gun as that owned by Mr. Lamar, which has been missing from his nightstand since the night of the attempted murder. Now, Officer Haberman, was Mr. Lamar able to identify his assailant?
It's in my report. He said it was Melanie Burke, better known as Kitten Delight, teen queen of the porno industry.
Did Mr. Lamar suggest a motive for this attack?
Oh, yeah. Seems that he and Kitten had videotaped one of their sessions, and Kitten wanted the tape back real bad.
Your Honor, will you please instruct the witness to refer to my client by her real name, either Melanie or Ms. Burke?
I don't need to repeat that, do I, officer?
No, sir.
Very well. Go ahead, Counselor.
Officer Haberman, did you investigate Ms. Burke?
Pronto. Got a search warrant and paid a visit at about 4 a.m. Miss Burke lives in this little apartment at 31 Flint Street. It's pretty seedy.
And what did Ms. Burke say when you questioned her?
Oh, she denied all knowledge of the events. However, in her closet, I found a raincoat with a missing button, identical to the one worn by the assailant. It's the same kind of button I found on Mr. Lamar's patio the next day.
State's Exhibit 2, Your Honor. The raincoat found in Ms. Burke's closet, and the missing button, which matches the others on the coat.
And there was something else. Something we found buried at the bottom of the garbage dumpster in the building. A videotape. It had been smashed pretty thoroughly, but not thoroughly enough.
You were able to view the tape?
Yes. Contents were Melanie and Lamar, well, partying. Lamar's initials were scratched on the corner of the box, and Kitten's, Ms. Burke's, fingerprints were everywhere.
State's Exhibit 3, the tape. Did Mr. Lamar identify this?
It was the tape she demanded from him. The only copy. It had been in his house till that night.
A point of information. Was there any label or identifying tag on this cassette?
Ms. Sinclair, Mr. Lamar has already indicated that videotapes of a personal nature were not labeled as to content.
So the tape was unlabeled. Thank you.
Now, Officer Haberman, does anyone in this courtroom bear a resemblance to the perpetrator you observed fleeing Mr. Lamar's home that night?
Well, unless Ms. Burke is hiding some evil twin, I'd say it could only be her.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Very well, Counselor. Miss Sinclair?
That evil twin line, that's real amusing, Officer Haberman. That's funnier than anything you've said in your numerous TV interviews.
Hey, I'm not creative. The evil twin thing was a reference to one of her stellar films called Double Your Pleasure.
Thank you for the information. I had no idea the distinguished officer was such a connoisseur of smut.
Utah's John Brewer holds the world's record in wheelchair marathon competition. Now, John has earned a place in the 1988 World Paralympic Games for the handicapped, competing for a new record. To reach his dream, John needs your help. Tax-deductible donations may be sent to the National Wheelchair Athletic Association. Make checks payable to NWAA for John Brewer and mail to Post Office Box 1942, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84110, 1942. This message brought to you by the law offices of Robert DeBry.
Hey, kids, what time is it?
Wild cherry, cherry Pepsi.
This goes out to all you wild cherry lovers.
It's alive!
You're in the Pepsi generation. Who, me?
Born to be wild.
Earl Sapient Wild Cherry Band.
Hey, are you talking to me?
Do wild cherry Pepsi. Be there or be square.
What can you get for $49.99? At America's Best, new patients get a pair of contact lenses or 2 pair of eyeglasses for $49.99. And that includes the eye exam. America's Best contacts and eyeglasses. A pair of daily wear soft contacts or 2 pair of eyeglasses, including the eye exam, $49.99 now.
Take a look into the future. The clairvoyant crystal ball is the most amazing thing since time began. Call a psychic crystal line right now from your own home. It's only $9 plus 99 cents per minute. Our clairvoyant crystal readers can give you answers for now or for the future. It's mystifying and exciting. Ask about money, love, anything you want to know about. Have a ball with the crystal ball. You can even order your own personal crystal ball to do readings at home.
Listen, working knowledge of the porno industry is part of my job. I don't watch those movies for pleasure.
And of course, I believe you. Many people wouldn't, but then I'm generous that way. Let's examine this wonderful evidence you've collected, shall we? We'll start with the raincoat you found in Melanie's closet. Do you find anything unique about this coat?
It is identical to the one worn by the perpetrator the night of the crime.
Officer Haberman, this model of raincoat is the most popular one sold by Zellerman's department store. Thousands of people buy these every year.
Thousands of people weren't spotted fleeing the scene of a crime. Just one. Ms. Burke owns that coat. And what about the button that fell off this raincoat?
Did you count the number of buttons on the coat of the perpetrator as he or she climbed over the patio wall?
No, but the button was there.
Come on, Officer Haberman. This button could have fallen off Melanie's raincoat at any time before the night in question. She's not denying she had a relationship with Peter Lamar.
All the evidence indicates
Indicates? What about proof? Hey, what about the gun? Have you found it?
Not yet.
Well, that's wonderful. That's overwhelming. You collect the flimsiest of evidence, then leak your story to a reporter buddy who tells the world that you personally plan to convict the teen queen of porno for attempted murder. Is the little officer bucking for a promotion at the expense of an innocent young girl's future?
Innocent girl? Kitten Delight?
Melanie, not Kitten. Melanie Burke. Ms. Burke, do you get your mind out of the gutter? No further questions.
You may step down, Officer Haberman. Thank you very much. Miss Sinclair, your task in this trial is to aid the defendant, not to make speeches. I hope you understand the difference. Good. Call your next witness, Mr. Shannon.
I call Peter Lamar.
Very well, sir.
Thanks.
Oh, cops are easy. This guy could be tough.
Proceed, Counselor.
Mr. Lamar, how did you come to know Ms. Burke?
Well, I'm a freelance photographer. I do a lot of work for Leon Donnell at McClare Advertising. Fashion, perfume, makeup. McClare hired Melanie as his receptionist. That's how we met.
And at what point did your acquaintance become personal?
Well, the kid moved fast. She started hanging out at my studio at McClare Advertising during her lunch breaks. Did everything she could to make herself helpful, never obnoxious or obvious, at least at first. So, a couple of weeks go by. One night I'm working late developing film, and Melanie comes in crying.
What was she crying about?
She'd messed up at work. Seemed she didn't type and was overwhelmed by the job. Thought she was going to get fired. Sad little thing. So I told her I put in a good word for her with Leon. And wow, it was like the magic button. Next thing I know, she's all over me. I went with it.
So you became involved with her. So how often did you see her after that night?
Almost solid for the next month. Look, I don't want to get crude here, but I'd never met anybody so accomplished, if you know what I mean. If I'd have thought about it, I would have wondered how she got to be so accomplished. And one night, one really wild night, she suggested we videotape ourselves just for kicks.
He's lying. That's the world I wanted out of. Why would I do that?
I apologize, Your Honor. I'll caution my client not to interrupt.
Mr. Lamar, was that the tape stolen from your house the night you were shot?
Exactly.
How would you describe your relationship with Ms. Burke?
It was all a come-on, a tease. What she really wanted was for me to make her a big, famous model. She was trying to score off me.
Well, how did you respond to her request?
I told her the truth. It wasn't going to happen.
And how did she take it?
Oh, she made some rather crude remarks for about, 25 minutes, then she left. But 2 nights later, she came marching into my studio and demanded the videotape back.
Did you agree to her demand?
No way. She tried to use me, to rip me off. Maybe I could have been more of a gentleman about it, but I was still mad. So I told her I was going to keep the tape for myself. And that's when she said it. She said if I didn't give her the tape back, she was going to kill me. Never thought she'd actually have the guts to try it.
Mr. Lamar, that night at your house, please, describe what happened.
Well, I'd been to a party, gallery opening. By the time I got home, I was really beat. Didn't even turn on the lights. All I wanted to do was pull off my clothes and fall into bed. The minute I got to the living room, I knew something was wrong. The books on the shelves were all on the floor, and I could sense somebody was still in the apartment. My first thought was get the gun. I keep it in the nightstand by the bed.
Did you make it to the bedroom?
To the doorway. And there she was. I could see her shape outlined against the window. And she'd found my gun. She pointed it directly at me and fired.
Mr. Lamar, did you get a good look at that woman?
And the instant before I was shot, I realized who it was, and I said the name out loud. The name of the woman pointing the gun at me. I said, Melanie.
We will return to the judge.
Chicago. A man is about to get on a plane. Suddenly, he changes his mind. An hour later, the plane crashes. It's dismissed as chance. Northern Texas. A UFO is reported by a dozen people. Although there were no storms, it's dismissed as lightning. Time Life Books announces Mysteries of the Unknown, an important news series that goes deeper into the world of mysterious and unexplained phenomena than ever before. It uncovers the secrets and tells you everything that can be known. Stonehenge. A visitor shapes a wire antenna in an ancient symbol and points it at the stone. A surge of power knocks him unconscious. Was it all in his mind, or much more than that? Experience Mysteries of the Unknown for 10 days free. Then decide if you want to dismiss it.
Call 1-800-228-3300 to examine mystic places for 10 days. Keep it and pay just $12.99 plus $2.98 shipping and handling. Other books will follow, one about every other month. Cancel anytime. So call 1-800-228-3300.
Something's happening on KPBS.
Now that Night Court is Channel 4's 1035 show, what's happening to Magnum?
I think I can explain it. No, you don't.
Magnum PI has a new time.
You're the ones who want to hire a private investigator?
Weeknights at 11:05.
I knew it. I knew it. My hero.
Make it Magnum here on KTBX Channel 4.
Something's happening on KTBX.
Ah, coffee. It's what keeps us going. But coffee contains acid. And that acid can have consequences. Fortunately, there's a coffee that's been 90% acid neutralized. Kava. Rich, full-bodied, delicious. The more you drink, the more you like. So for coffee without the bitter consequences, try Kava.
Miss Sinclair, your witness.
Mr. Lamar, before you came home, you said you were at a gallery opening party. I've been to one or two of those. They usually serve liquor. Had you consumed any alcoholic beverages at that party?
I had 2 white wine spritzers.
How tasteful. And you did say when you entered your house, you didn't turn on any lights, correct?
That's what I said.
How far were you standing from your assailant before you were shot?
About 15 feet.
I grow more impressed with you by the minute. You're tired, you've been drinking, the house is dark, your assailant is 15 feet away, but you can identify her as Melanie Burke.
I know that kid in the dark.
Maybe you just know her from her movies. Oh, but you indicated you didn't know Melanie Burke had been Kitten Delight, right?
When we started going out, I had no idea.
Mr. Lamar, didn't you begin your own career as a cameraman for pornographic films?
Now, wait a minute. That was a long time ago. I got out of that racket as soon as I could.
But you're still making porno, Mr. Lamar. And this time, you're starring in it. Only you don't tell.